Good morning, students. Today, I'll be discussing about the types of wholesalers. See, we have already discussed the concept of wholesaler, the types of channels, the functions of intermediaries like the wholesaler and the retailers. We already know that how the wholesaler they are contributing to the consumers, and who are the consumers. See, the consumers are the retailers in case of wholesalers. And talking about the different types of wholesaler, we usually have six different types of wholesalers. And these six different type of wholesalers are the merchant wholesaler, retail wholesalers, the limited service wholesalers. Then we have your brokers and agents. We have mini offices, and we have specialized wholesaler as well. So now let's understand the concept of merchant wholesalers first. So these merchant wholesalers, actually, if we talk about the merchant wholesalers, they are usually the one who buy directly from the manufacturer, store the product, and then sells to the final consumers. So what they are actually doing is that they are buying from the manufacturer, storing the product, and then they are selling to the customers. Now, if there is any loss between the transportation of the product, or there is a loss between buying and selling of the product, then it must be borne by the merchant wholesalers only. Now, these type of wholesalers, the merchant wholesalers, they are most commonly used in the FMCG industry, or we can say the agriculture industry, or the private label industries. Why? See, the FMCG industry, agriculture industry, what they do, they buy directly from the manufacturer and they store the product. They also bear the loss between the buying and selling of the product. So they are considered as the merchant wholesalers. Now let's have a look over the one example of merchant wholesaler. See, a merchant wholesalers are like vegetable wholesalers. What they do, they buy directly from the farms and stocks it as the own warehouses, and he then sells the product to the retailers as and when the retailers they approach the wholesalers. And the other example that we can consider here is of the FMCG industries. Why the FMCG industry they use the merchant wholesalers? See, the merchant wholesalers are usually being adopted by the FMCG industries for the purpose of distribution of their product, because these type of wholesalers they have the greater control in the region in which they operate, and being having the more control over the region in which they are operating, this makes the control over the market. And the FMCG companies they get the benefit from these merchant wholesaler, because they are the bulk buyers from the company, and they take the charge of the risk that they are facing. And also they are responsible for the sales target however they achieve it. So this is the basic concept of the wholesaler. See, in the starting only I have told you that the wholesaler they are the bulk buyers, and their basic and the primary role that they are playing was that they are buying from the manufacturer and they're selling to the uh, retailers. But we have these different categories of the wholesaler, or we can say the different types of wholesaler based on the roles that they are performing as an wholesaler. So we can say that the merchant wholesaler is playing a role such that they are buying directly from the manufacturer, they're storing the product, and then they're selling to the customers. Now moving further to the another category of the wholesaler, the the second category that we have in the wholesaler is the full service wholesaler, or these full seller wholesaler. full service wholesaler, they are also known as the retail wholesalers. Now let's understand that what do we mean by the retail wholesaler. See, the name itself, it suggests that the full service here means is that the wholesaler is in the full line of the service. He is controlling, or he is performing the role of all the services like carrying the stock, maintaining the stock, the maintaining the sales force, providing the credit facilities, making the deliveries, and providing the complete management assistance. So these full service wholesalers include the wholesale merchants and the industrial distributors as well. See, these full service wholesaler, they provide the complete service to the retailers, or we can say they are providing the full services to the end retailers. They are most, these type of full service wholesaler are usually been adopted, or we can say they are mostly being observed in consumer durables or in the engineering products. And these full service wholesaler, they usually operate in a retail market and sell the product to resellers. Now let's have an example of a full service wholesaler. See, take an example of suppose if we take a big organization dealing with the electronic items. For example, for instance, if we take the Samsung, and Samsung want to expand its operations in region A, but he does not have any sales office in that particular region. So what the option the Samsung have in this situation? See, Samsung will be appointing a distributor in the region A, so that he may the Samsung may rely on the distributor for order picking, for the delivery, for training the sales staff, and for all the activities relating to the promotions related to their organization brand, that is branding of the Samsung. So he's the particular distributor is then considered as a full service wholesaler. However, we can also consider here that for the service of the product, there is a different service franchisee opened in the same region. Mean to say that for servicing of the product, the organization can employ their different service center, which is dealing with the services of the product. Services of the product means, suppose there is some pitfall in the product, then the customer, they can approach the service center of that particular brand. So this is the role being played by the full service wholesaler, that is they provide the full line of the services to the end consumers. Now, the third category of wholesaler that we have is the limited service wholesaler. See, the limited service wholesaler is, as the name itself suggests, they are not into the full line of the services. They offer only few services to their customers and the suppliers. And why they provide only few services? They provide only few services in order to reduce the cost of the service, and they even don't have the large turnover, or they does not cover all the channels of the company. Let's have an example of a limited service wholesaler. See, limited service wholesaler, for example, we can say that there is one company, and this company, they want to sell their product online, but they don't know that, or they don't allow the local distributors also to sell online. Why? Because this will lead to enter into a huge price war. So as a result, what the company will do, the company will appoint an exclusive online wholesaler, and the role of that online wholesaler is to purchase the product and stock it and sell it online. So whenever any order comes from a big giants like Amazon, eBay, or the online marketing company, what this wholesaler will do, this wholesaler will give the orders to the Amazon or to the eBay, and this is the only job that the this online wholesaler is doing. So we can say that this online wholesaler, they are only performing the limited set of operations. So we have the another example of these limited service wholesaler. These are your cash and carry wholesaler. These cash and carry wholesalers are, for example, we have the strong FMCG products. They are being sold as a cash and carry, and immediate payment is demanded on the delivery of the material. So these cash and carry wholesalers are who are providing the cash and is carrying the product as well. Then the another example for the limited service wholesaler is the logistic wholesalers. So these logistic wholesalers, the example is, we can take the example of the milk deliverers or the milk wholesalers. What they do, they deliver the truck of the milk across the market, and their only work is to deliver the milk, and they do not get the orders for the company. So these are considered as the logistics wholesalers. So these are the roles, or we can say the concept of limited service wholesaler. Then we have is the brokers or agents. Now the we know that these brokers and agents are also the wholesalers, are also one of the type of wholesaler. You all must be knowing a brief about who the brokers are, who the agents are. You must be knowing that they usually take the commission from the both side. So uh, let's have the concept of who the brokers are and who the agents are. So these type of wholesalers, they are being usually appointed in the real estate industry, we can say, or in a chemical market. See, the brokers and the agents, they assumes no risk. Why? Because they take the commission from both the end, and they free themselves from the risk factor. What they do, these brokers or the agents, they has producers or the manufacturer on the one side, and they has the buyer on the other side, and their only work of the broker is to get the deal done, and he gets the commission on the deal. For example, let's have a look over the real estate brokers. What they do, suppose if we want to rent out a flat, then what they'll be doing, they'll be taking the commission from the flat owner, and they'll be taking the commission from the tenant to which they are providing the flat. So they are taking the commission, they're getting the deal done. This is the role played by the brokers. Another example is, suppose the lab equipments. Every colleges, they are having the laboratories. So the chemical industry, the lab assistant, what they do, they usually put up an order to the agents or to the brokers to get the chemical or the requirements of the laboratory, and then the brokers, they get the orders from the manufacturer, they take the commission from the manufacturer, and they take the commission from the lab agent as well. So this is the concept of the brokers or the agents is. Now the last category of wholesaler is the specialized wholesalers. Now these specialized wholesalers are, they are these are actually the wholesalers who do the wholesale of specialized item only. For example, that they are dealing into the specialized service. Let's for example, we can take a used car wholesaler who sells directly to the customers or to the other used car dealers. Then he is specialized in using the cars, and he knows the ifs and buts or the ins and outs of the selling a used car to consumers or refurbishing the used car. So these are the specialized wholesaler. So these are the six categories of wholesalers that we usually have. So till now we have discussed the concept of the channel intermediaries. Before moving further to the another intermediary, let me just brief you out about what all we have done till now. See, we studied the channel members. Let me introduce you. Let me tell you all about the slides also as well that I have shared in your official group. So I discussed with the marketing channel. We know what marketing channel is. They are just the, they're just the, yes, they are just the, yes, they are just the mutually dependent organization that helps, or we can say they make the product or the service available for to the end consumers. Then I discussed with you all the concept of the channel level. What was channel level? We were having two types of channel. That is direct we have, indirect we have. In the direct, we were studying about the zero level. That means no intermediary is involved here. In the indirect channel, I have discussed that indirect channel is where the intermediaries are involved by giving the products to the consumers, and this indirect channel, it includes the intermediaries, and we have the three levels of indirect channel, which and these levels were one level, two level, and three level. One level means one intermediary in between, two level means two intermediaries in between, three level means three intermediaries in between. So these were the three levels of indirect channel. Then I discussed with you all what is the concept of wholesaler. I think you all are clear with what the concept of the wholesaler is. See, the in your syllabus it is mentioned that what is the function and the roles of the intermediaries. And see, the intermediaries are the wholesaler and retailers only. So you need to discuss, you need to write about the wholesaler if it has been asked, or if it is has been asked in your exam about the intermediaries, then you just have to give a brief of the wholesaler contributing to the manufacturer or to the consumers, or and a brief of the retailer and how the retailer is playing or is functioning towards the manufacturer or to the end consumers. So in your syllabus it is being mentioned the types and the roles of the channel intermediaries. And who are the channel intermediaries? Channel intermediaries are the wholesalers as well as the retailers. So I won't be discussing again with the characteristics of the wholesaler. You can go through the slides, and in case if you find any problem, then you can consult me. So these were the characteristics that we have discussed about the wholesalers. Then how the wholesaler is providing the services to the manufacturers. Then I discussed with you all that how the wholesalers, they are providing the services to the retailers. The generalized function of the wholesalers. How they are servicing to the manufacturers. The service provided to the buyers, and the different types of wholesalers. I think it is now clear to you all what the wholesalers are, what the role they are playing, what how they're contributing to the manufacturer, how they're contributing to the retailers. Now let's move on to the new type of intermediaries, which is your retailer. Now, what do you understand by the word retail? See, retail is that it involves the sales of the goods from the single point. That is, a single point can be any mall, it can be any market, it can be a departmental store as well. So This retail, it involves the sale of the goods from a single point to the consumers in the small quantities for its end users. So what is the basic difference between the wholesaler and the retailer is that wholesaler, they buy in bulk from the manufacturer and sell to the retailers, while the retailer at a single point, they are involved into the sale of the goods. What the retailer do, the retailer buy in bulk from the wholesaler, they buy a variety of the goods, and eventually they sell to the consumers. So this is the concept of the retailer. Now we have one terminology which is known as retail structure. By the word structure, what do you mean? See, structure, it is a spatial distribution of the retail stores and the store types. Yes. So, talking about the retail structure, see, the retail structure, it is also the spatial distribution of the retail stores and the store types. That includes the composition of the groupings of the stores, the spacing, and the relationship to the marketing as well. Or we can say the relationship to market as well. Now we have the concept of the retail. Let's move on to what is the different characteristics of the retailers. See, the characteristics of the retailers is that in the entire distribution chain, we all know that the retailer, they are generally considered as the final link, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. So these are the final in the final link in the distribution chain. And why final? Because they deal directly with the customers. Then the another characteristic of the retailer is that a retailer, they purchase in bulk from the wholesaler, and then they sell the product to the customers in the small quantities. Now, the other characteristic of retailer is a retailer, they essentially maintain a variety of merchandise. How? See, they retailer, they aim to sell these merchandise to the consumers, and they want that the consumer satisfaction should be maintained. So maintaining the customer satisfaction is possible when they are dealing with the variety of the goods to make the customer satisfied. So the aim of the retailer is to achieve the maximum satisfaction. And how they achieve the maximum satisfaction? They achieve this satisfaction by exceeding their expectations and delivering the exceptional services. So these are the characteristics of the retailers. Now let me discuss with you all the key functions of the retailers. So the key functions of the retailer is, what is the primary function? See, the primary function of the retailer is selling the product to the customers for various for which they employ various techniques or the different practices to achieve these goals, to achieve the goal of customer satisfaction. Then the other function that the retailer plays is that he's playing actually a dual function. How the dual function? See, the retailer, they are playing a function of buying and assembling of the goods, and they are playing the function of storing the goods as well. So the primary function, the prime focus of retailers, we can conclude that the prime focus of the retailer is on maximizing the customer satisfaction. And how they're maximizing the customer satisfaction? By delivering the quality products and the services both on a cash as well as on the credit basis. So this is the basic concept of what the retailers are, what are the characteristics of the retailers, what are the different functions of the retailers. So tomorrow I'll be discussing with you all the different types of retail outlets. Let me give you the brief of the retail outlets. See, we have generally the three categories of retail channels, or we can say that we have three types of retail channel. And these three types are in store retailing, we have non store retailing, and we have franchising. In store retailing, we have department store, we have supermarkets, we have discount houses, we have chain stores, we have multiple shops. We And in non store retailing, we have direct selling, we have telemarketing, we have online retailing, we have automatic vending, and direct marketing. So these are the basic or the different types of retail channels that we have. So tomorrow I'll be discussing about in details what are in store retailers, who are the non store retailers, and their role, their description. So I'll be sharing with you all the one word document. You all just go through that, and will be discussing them tomorrow in detail. So see you all tomorrow.